everyone, so I'm back with another video. This is going to be my May reading wrap up. This might be a long one. I read 23 books in May. I did not expect that kind of number at all. So again, we've got mostly physical. There is a ARC and a ebook on here as well. So I'm just going to get started. As per usual, everything's falling on top of me. But I've got everything on my phone. So the first book I read was the Invasion Day series. This is technically 5 books in one. This is humongous. By Elsie Morgan or L.M. Morgan or Eden Wildblood. She's gone by a few different names. So, this is a huge, huge book. So this is about Kyra. She has and her gang of soldiers, rebels, and aliens and rogues. This is a dystopian sci-fi adventure. So, against all the foretelling of scientific proof, humans have ruined their home. Overpopulation, misuse of valuable fossil fuels have resulted in the end of the world, and fast approaching, and many believe it might be too late to stop it. So with that fear overshadowing, in the year 3030, an alien race called the Thakorians my hair is stuck to it, stepped in to take charge of the Earth and its inhabitants, but at a price. Rather than leading by fear, the Thakorians ensure the loyalty and servitude of the human race through gratitude and sense of purpose. Stuff they've been lacking for generations. So, I give this 5 stars. So I read this in preparation for Liverpool Comic Con as I was going back to meet the author. She is a lovely, lovely lady. She is on social media. She's on Instagram. She's on TikTok. So, I mean, what can I say? I've loved every book I've actually read from her. I keep being attacked by books. So, it was full of action, full of adventure, full of emotion. There were so many deep topics, like abortion, fertility, those kinds of things. And they were told with such care and elegance. This is a very heavy book. I have to hold it in a weird way. Kyra was amazingly developed for a female character. I've read very underdeveloped female characters. And she had many relatable aspects to her as well. And the King Cronus in this the king of, was written really well, and he's a great male character. It also talks about a disease which is kind of very reminiscent of cancer in here as well. And that was written amazingly too. So, then I moved on to The Darkest Minds by Alexander Bracken. So this is about a mysterious disease that has killed most of America's children. So Ruby might have survived, but she and the others have emerged with something worse than a virus. Frightening abilities they cannot control. So pressured by the government, Ruby's parents send her to Thurmond, which is a brutal state rehabilitation camp. Sadly to say, I didn't like this. I gave this 1 star. I actually DNF this at 26%, which is a very low percentage to DNF something at. It's just terrible writing. It's confusing, and I'm not an easy person to confuse. I've done many diplomas, scientific ones and stuff like that, and I just couldn't keep my attention on it. Characters got no real plan for what they're going to do when they escape the camp, and it just made absolutely no sense. So, unhaul, and I unhauled the entire series already. Because I had all of it. Because I had high hopes, and hopes were gone. Then I read An Academy Flyers. This is the absolutely stunning Illumicrate Evernight edition. So this is about Lennon Carter. And her life is basically falling apart, and she gets a mysterious phone call that invites her to sit an entrance exam to a school very few have heard of. It's called Drayton College. And she's been chosen like everyone else at the school because she is special, and she possesses the innate gift of persuasion and the ability to wield her will like a weapon and use it to control others. So she passes the exam, and she goes to this college and she meets Dante, who is her charismatic advisor. He both intimidates her and intrigues her. And she becomes inept in using her uncanny abilities, but she discovers more about Drayton's unsettling history and about Dante and his tragic and violent past. It's another one that I had very, very high hopes for, and sadly it was only a 3-star. Alexis Henderson actually greatly disappointed me with this. I can't believe it. It started out very great. It had all the atmosphere and all of that kind of stuff. And Dante was equally as an intriguing character. I'm just gonna adjust this. And it was surrounded by so much mystery and intrigue, but then the ending just kind of went, and I lost complete connection with the plot. So sadly, this very stunning edition has to go. See, the power of persuasion intrigued me because I've just finished season 1 of Jessica Jones, and Kilgrave has the power to allow people to get people to do his will and his bidding. And I wanted that kind of power. I wanted that kind of power to be displayed in this for the power of persuasion. But alas, it was not meant to be. I'm just going to see if I can get that to hold that up a bit better. That's better. Although now I have to move a little bit further back. There we go. So then I read Fated in Rome, which was the Ark by L.A. McGuinness. That already has a video on my channel, so go check that out. I gave that 4 stars. So I don't need to chat about that. So then I thought, right, 2 dud books in a row. I need my pal. I need the Doctor. So I went to the Doctor Who Heroes and Monsters collection. Written by Justin Richards, Gary Russell, Jacqueline Rayner, all of the greats who write the Doctor Who books. And this was an absolute 5 stars. So this has the 10th, 11th, 12th and the War Doctor. It's just a brilliant, brilliant collection of Doctor Who stories. I enjoyed them all. I can't pick a favourite, I really can't. And the 10th and the 11th Doctors are my favourite Doctors. Don't know whether you can tell. And these captured the spirit of the series. So yes. I read this and I loved it and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I will be reading more Doctor Who books. I have a vast collection of them for moments like that, especially. So, then I read... How many of these did I read in a row? Okay, we'll go with these first. So I'm still working on my celebrity recommendations list, so these next 2 books I will only give you my star rating. So I read The Ginger Man by John P. Donlevy. I'll tell you what it's about as well. I have no idea what this is about. I didn't like this. I only give this 2 stars. So this was first published in 1955. The book follows often a racing misadventures of a young American Sebastian Dangerfield, who is studying law at Trinity College. And on publication, it was banned in American Ireland for obscenity. Yes, I didn't like this. I gave this one 2 stars. And then I read... this is tiny. It's called A Season in Hell by Arthur Rimbaud. I give this one 4 stars. This one is about... well, he wrote this at the age of 20 during a particular turbulent time in his relationship with the poet Paul Verlaine. I could read this. I could have read this actually next month, considering it's a bit gay. It is a bit gay. So in its emotion, images and hallucinations, its vibrant record of tortured souls who through suffering arrive at the end of his twisted spiritual path. It will now be permitted to me to possess the truth of the body and the soul. This was actually amazing. I don't understand why I have such a tiny edition, but I actually love this. That is all I'm actually going to say on this. This I didn't like. This I loved. There's another one in here. But we will get to that once I have done these 4. So, in my vast collection, my vast TBR, I have some children's books. Because sometimes you need a bit of a palate cleanser. So, this was one of my favourite childhood books. It's called Barry the Fish with Fingers. And if you can't tell, it's about a fish called Barry that has fingers. I absolutely adore that. I still adore this to this day, actually. It's by Sue Hendra. I give this one 5 stars. It was just... It captures a message of just because he is different. And we've got Puffy the Pufferfish, who, because Barry gets all like the popularity due to him having fingers. Oh, you can see my new tattoo, by the way. Look at my snake. On my hand. Look at him. That's not the point. Where I was going this. Because he has these fingers, he gets all the popularity. The pufferfish doesn't, but it's so sweet. You get my drift. See, you get the point. Then I read Owl Babies by Martin Waddell and Patrick Benson. I give this one 4 stars. It couldn't top this, but it was really good. It was slightly repetitive, but still worth it, and it's adorable. I mean, absolutely adorable. Then another one of my childhood favourites, Where the Wild Things Are by Marie Sendak. I mean, come on. About a mischievous little boy who ends up growing a forest and ends up making friends with monsters. I actually want to rewatch the movie to that. And then one that was not in my childhood. It actually came about when I was a teenager. The Curvy Tree by Chris Colfer. So, in every forest there's a curvy tree. This is just a very sweet, innocent story. I say innocent. It is. A very sweet story about being different. And that being different is something to celebrate. It's like being unique is something to celebrate. These were sweet. I mean, I love these. They were lovely. Lovely to read. I will be reading more children's books. I've got a new one coming actually called A Home for Spark the Dragon, which is by Michael Sheen. And I am deadly excited. So, then back to the celebrity ones. I read In the Hand of Dante by Nick Tosh. And I give this one 4 stars. So, review will be coming imminent. I've got 3 more books, I think, to read for that one. And then you will get the full video. I might as well give you this one. Big Sur by Jack Kerouac. I read this one as well. I should tell you what these are about. So this is about finding the manuscripts to the Divine Comedy written by Dante in the Vatican Library. Sums it up very well. This is about... let me get it up on Goodreads, it'd be easier. I gave this one 2 stars, very much like The Ginger Man. Didn't really care for it. It's a very gritty and moving take on the destruction of his own myth as the King of Beasts as he approaches middle age. It's an autobiographical 9th novel. It reflects on his struggle to come to terms with his own myth and the magnificence of a moving story of Jacques Delors, a man blessed with great talent and cursed with the urge towards self-destruction. Yeah, I didn't very much care for that one either. Has anyone actually, like, garnered a guess at which celebrity this is? Because of what I'm reading. I know that sounds weird, but can anyone actually guess? I wonder. Right, so back to the normal... I'm a clumsy shit. Really badly. Right, so then I read Stranger Than Fanfiction by Chris Colfer. So this is about Cash Carter, and he's the young, world-famous lead actor in a hit television show called WizKids. And 4 fans jokingly invite him on a cross-country road trip, and he takes them up on it. So they get chased by paparazzi, hounded by reporters, and they end up on a journey of a lifetime. But along the way, they discover that the star they love has deep secrets he's been keeping. And they come to learn about life of the mysterious person they thought they knew, and it'll teach them about the power of empathy and the unbreakable bond of true friendship. Now, I've read The Land of Stories before, the first one, and I've read Struck by Lightning, both which I thoroughly enjoyed and want to reread. However, Stranger Than Fanfiction was a no. It was a 3 stars. First of all, it depicts fandoms and conventions horribly. Not all fans act in the stereotypical screaming way that Chris Colfer has depicted them, despite what he may have experienced during his Glee days. And I am putting that out there. Yes, he might have experienced some screaming, crazed fans, but we are not all like that. We're not. The LGBT representation was actually okay in this. I know Chris Colfer has a lot of that, and he likes to advocate for that, but it was kind of pushed to have them in there because there's multiple different ones, and they're all seem to be pushed together as one friendship group. And the character's POVs are way too young to be college age, and Cash is just an arsehole. He's an arsehole for no reason. There's no excuse for half of the stuff he did. So, Children of Eden by Joey Graceffa. So, Rowan is a second child in a world where population control measures make her an outlaw. She's marked for death. She can't go to school, she can't make friends or get eye implants. That'll mark her a true member of Eden. So, outside Eden, Earth is poisoned and dead. All animals and most plants have been destroyed by man-made catastrophe. Long ago, the brilliant scientist Aaron Albaz saved a pocket of civilization by designing the Eco-Panoshipan. The Eco-Place, I'm going to call it. A massive computer program that hijacked all global technology and put it to use preserving the last vestiges of mankind. So, I know that Joey Graceffa is a bit of a controversial human being. I'm just going to say that outright. I know. Sadly, this was a 2-star anyway. It sucked. And I did actually have the whole series, and I've unhauled all of it. So it was very info-dumpy. There's too much description in a lot of the chapters. Couldn't really connect with any of the characters in this at all. It was very hard to connect with a lot of the places as well. Like, everything was all over the place. I couldn't really trust any of the characters, no matter what any of them said. And why would you need a romance in a very short book? Oh, yay, positivity. Oh yeah, I forgot actually, there's another one of the celebrity ones. We'll do this one first. So this is Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas by Hunter S. Thompson. So I think you'll remember The Rum Diary, which I didn't like. This one I actually gave 4 stars. So I did like that one. And it's about Hunter S. Thompson, who's driving to Las Vegas with his attorney, the Samoan, to find the dark side of America's dream. And they roll down the desert highway from Los Angeles and realise there's only one way to go about such a perilous task. Getting very, very twisted. And with the drug arsenal of stupendous proportions and the duo enraged in a manic, surreal tour of the sleaze capital of the world. It's a drug fest, and I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. So, Text Appeal by Amber Roberts. Good job I got that right. So this is where STEM gets steamy. So this is actually a STEM-ish romance. So Laika has lost her dream job as a coder when her friend mentions text message-based sex work as a stopgap between jobs, and she laughs. How will she explain to people that she's earning a living through her phone, especially to Toby, her dorky best friend and long-time unrequited crush? Laika's not very good at sexting anyway. Is anyone? But as she tries and fails a few times, she starts to actually enjoy her job, especially talking to one charming, nerdy client. Now Laika has a decision to make. Tell Toby she's a sex worker and forget about her anonymous client, or keep the secrets that are piling up in her inbox. I gave this 4 stars. This was actually brilliant. The only reason why it got 4 stars is because Tegan was an absolute annoying bitch. But other than that, the other characters are very quirky and I loved them. I just could not stand Tegan. The romance was basically full of twists and different hurdles, which are completely unexpected. If you look at like Ali Hazelwood, who's another one for writing the STEMinists, I've read one of hers and I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. It's not a smutty romance, it's a sex-positive romance. That's the difference, and I quite like how that works. So, then I read this. The World According to Gogglebox. It's very sticky on the back. So this is by Jason A. Hazley. This is a TV companion book. So, I gave this 4 stars, though this is a read once kind of thing for me. But it is a very light-hearted and fun read. It does give background to the people who appear on the show. And it does give insight on how the show is made and how these people end up on the show. Gogglebox used to be absolutely fantastic. It has now gone downhill. And the celebrity one's not too bad, but the normal one has gone a little bit downhill. But it used to be absolutely brilliant. This was quite a decent read. Then I read, where's it gone? Sweeney Todd, The Real Story of the Demon Barber on Fleet Street. And I gave this one 4 stars. It's very shiny. I gave this one 4 stars. So this is about Sweeney Todd. The notorious demon barber had been called the greatest mass murderer in English history. With the aid of the ingenious revolving chair and the lethal cutthroat razor, he is said to have robbed and butchered over 160 victims in his barber shop in Fleet Street, before taking the remains to the nearby Bell Yard where his accomplice Marjorie Lovett cooked their flesh into her meat pies. Despite being in the infamous London history as Jack the Ripper and Dr. Crippen, Todd's story has been largely ignored by historians. So this was actually quite interesting to read, as much as it kind of lacks research. It does give some light as to the idea that Sweeney Todd is kind of like Jack the Ripper. And it's kind of shrouded in that Jack the Ripper-esque mystery. And there's a possibility that someone was out there doing something like this, but all the legends have been greatly exaggerated through the movie and the musical. So I'm actually want to do some more research myself to see what I can dig up about Sweeney Todd. And maybe put some of my own notes to that book. So then I read on my Kindle Slaying the Vampire Conqueror by Carissa Broadbent. Now you know me, I have read the Serpent and the Wings of Night. I tried The Ashes of the Crown Cursed King. And I did try Daughter of No World and got no further. Thought try this and it was awful. It just sucked and not in the fun vampire way. I gave it 2 stars. So this is about Selenia, who is from an orphan street rat to a disciplined killer determined to overthrow Galea's tyrannical king. When a brutal conqueror, the vampire conqueror, arrives on the shore, she faces an even deadlier adversary. Atreus is a terrifying warrior carving an unstoppable path. I actually had high hopes for this because I did enjoy The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and in my opinion it should have just stayed a standalone because it works perfectly well on its own and I've not needed anything else. Couldn't connect with the characters and it was a very slow paced book. As was the next one. Portrait of a Thief by Grace DeLee. So, history is told by the conquerors. Across the Western world, museum displays the spoils of war, of conquest, and of colonialism. Priceless pieces of art looted from other countries, kept even now. Will Chen plans to steal them back. He's a senior at Harvard and he fits comfortably into his carefully curated roles. Perfect student, an art history major, an artist, and a perfect son. The complete American dream. But when a shadowy corporation reaches out with an impossible and illegal job offer, Will finds himself as something else as well. The leader of a heist to steal back 5 priceless Chinese sculptures looted from Beijing centuries ago. As much as this is the Illumicray exclusive edition, it's not actually very exclusive, bar the lovely, lovely character art and the tigers on the front. It's hooked ass. I would have thought this would have been very interesting, and I thought I would have been interested in it. It's a heist. It's art history. It is history. It's museums. Sounds very up my alley. I gave it 1 star. I actually DNF'd this at 51%. It has so much potential, but to get to 51% and only 1 heist, like, stop talking about the heist and do the heist. I was disappointed. I was let down. This would have been better as a movie. I would like to see this as a movie. If this ever gets made, I will watch it. I will give it a chance. As a promise. Not something I often say. Then, I decided I need something. Clockwork Angel. I've decided to enter the Infernal Devices series. So this is about a 16-year-old Tessa Gray who arrives in England during the reign of Queen Victoria. Something terrifying awaits her in London, in the Downworld, where vampires, warlocks and other supernatural folk stalk the ghastly streets. Friendless and hunted, she seeks refuge with the Shadowhunters, band of warriors dedicated to riding the world of demons. Ridding the world of demons. Apparently I can't read. Drawn ever deeper into the world, she finds herself fascinated and torn between 2 best friends, and quickly realises that love may be the most dangerous magic of them all. So I have finished the Shadowhunter series, so now I'm on to this. I may even start the Dark Artificers at the same time. And I gave this 5 stars. Cassandra Clare did it again. What a woman she is. It's a very magical reading experience, as it always is with Cassandra Clare. It's a Victorian steampunk London setting, and we cannot go wrong. I absolutely loved every second of this, and actually, despite how little he is in this, I actually love Magnus Bane even more. And to see Tessa's powers as well, I look forward to seeing what else they do. Also, it opens like this. It's really neat. Looks like one of them book lights when I do that. Yes. The last one. Haunted Mansion Volume 2. I have to find the other 2 volumes. I don't own them. So this is Tales from the Haunted Mansion, Volume 2, Midnight at Madame Leoda's, as told by Mansion Librarian Amicus Arcane. The actual authors' names are, because we need to give them credit, transcribed by John Esposito, and the illustrations were done by Kelly Jones. I've got to give them credit. So I gave this 5 stars. This was amazing. There was so much more in this one than there was in the first one, because this actually had him telling you tales from like the library, literally like the library, like the carnival, the vampires, Uncle Rory. There was so much. I thoroughly enjoyed this, and I actually can't wait to get my hands on the other two eventually, because I love the Haunted Mansion. Hey, look at these illustrations. Where's the really cool one? Like, things like that. Like, they're amazing. And like, Amicus Arcane has like little sarcastic quips, like, what's my favourite one? Give me a second. But almost doesn't count, except in I almost didn't get hit by that. A girl after my own spleen. Things like that he says in it. It like adds little notes to it. It's just amazing. So that is all 23 books I have read in the month of May. It's a lot of books. I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't. So June is Pride Month. So yes, I am doing a Pride themed month. I'm not gonna do a TBR, set TBR for it. I'm just literally gonna scour my shelves for all the gay, lesbian, transgender, non-binary, whatever I can find, bisexual, because after research I seemingly have a lot of that on my shelf that I have not read, and I'm going to read it for Pride Month. Even though our Pride event for my local town is in August, it doesn't make sense. And local city, it's also in August. Still makes no sense, but we're going with it. So we are going to do a Pride themed reading month, I guess. So yes, we'll see what I can come up with. See what I can concoct. I have to put all these back. I have to shelve some of these. I have to put some of these away, but I've got to shelve these. So I hope you enjoyed this very, very long and slightly chaotic reading wrap up. And I shall see you next video. Bye.